Let's go to New York. They're certainly getting a taste of things to come from their Democratic Socialist Muslim mayor. Mamdani is proposing a near 10% property tax hike. He's got a multi-billion-dollar hole in his budget already, but he's pressuring the states to hit millionaires and corporations. But Kosha, this point is interesting. He got elected promising to tax the rich. But all along he knew he couldn't do this as mayor. He knew it wasn't within his jurisdiction. So this is about class war games as much as anything else.
It is, and the base that will suffer the most from this is not really his voting base, or at least the majority of them aren't. This is the only tax category that he has unilateral authority as mayor of New York City to hike property taxes, and that's why he's doing it. The mayor of New York City does not have authority on sales tax or income tax or any other categories. And so this is the last straw, or the last resort, I think is how he termed it. Also, there is statutory obligation for the mayor of New York to balance the budget since the 1970s after a big financial crisis that happened there. But there's no cap on the revenue. So of course, the costs go up and up, and then they try to tax more, and this is sort of the only lever he has. But as we know, what it's going to keep doing is New Yorkers eventually leave. And it's a very mobile country. They don't leave for other parts in the state of New York. They leave for other cities and other states. And that will hurt the statewide revenue base. And that's why the governor, exactly, Florida and other places. So the governor is actually even pushing back on him, even though she's quite left-wing herself. This is going a bridge too far. So we shall see how that all unfolds.
That's right, Michael. They'll just walk. Money will walk.
Well, I had family or friends from New York here. It was freezing, a particularly odious winter in the Big Apple. And you've got the more attractive climate down south and far less taxes and less crazy people running big cities. So why wouldn't you move to Austin or Memphis or
Florida?
Florida, beautiful.
Yeah, I was in Florida over Christmas and not much crime. I could not see any graffiti on a highway. I was on a highway for about an hour and a half. No discernible graffiti. I came back to Australia and it felt like it was Mogadishu in Melbourne, but that's another story. Kamala Harris back in Australia. Here's a picture of her with Julie Bishop yesterday in Canberra. She must need the money. And I tell you what, we must be desperate to have her back here. This was a talk fest. I suspect it's probably one of those women's talk fests. But Kosha, got to say, she's a giant, big, fat loser. It's embarrassing that she's on the female leadership circuit.
It really is. I think second only to this institute in Australia, as you point out. There are certainly better and more qualified women out there that they could have brought in, and here she is again for round two. It's becoming a little bit of a joke.
Yeah, I reckon they'd be better to get some old speeches from Margaret Thatcher and play them out to a crowd of women and show what it's like when women are there without a quota and they can win. All right, I'll leave it there. Both, thank you very much for your company.